What's up everyone, Lion Roar here, and we have a brand new legendary hero at the altar in Gemstone Legends. It is KATSURO, so of course I'm gonna break him down and do a few summons to see if I can get him. But first, download Gemstone Legends, a mobile RPG puzzle match game. Use the link in the description to start with free stuff, including a bonus hero. Alright, so KATSURO is a legendary green hero, and you can see the stats here. This is a pretty speedy hero. The speed's at 210, which is pretty high compared to most of the heroes that come out. And another thing that stands out to me is that mana gain at 19, which means you just need to put one set of the mana equipment on KATSURO in order to get him to fire after only 5 tiles. So that's something I would highly suggest. Especially based on, when we look at what the special is. I have a suggestion for the equipment in particular on this one. But also the attack stat is pretty high at 2,644. Now, of course, these are maxed out stats. Take note of that. This is like if you get them and max them the whole way up. But that attack stat is really important to what we're going to look at as well. You want to get that as high as possible. All right, KATSURO is a leader, increases the crit damage of all allies by 30% in all game modes. Probably not one you're going to use unless you don't have a leader that's increasing the speed or the mana of your team. The special, Soul Blade, deals damage based on 50% of the caster's attack to a single enemy 6 times. And then inflicts bleed on a single enemy for 6 turns and ignores 50% of defense. Now, of course, the special changes as you level it up here, but that's the maxed out special. That's a really interesting special, and typically I would think that that is a little underpowered, but I think that the passive helps with this, and especially if you do the equipment the right way. At this Sword Master, by the way, is the passive. At the start of the turn, he deals true damage, so no crit damage, based on 250% of the target's defense to an enemy with the highest defense. See, this is where the damage is being made up, is in the passive. He recasts his special ability if his attack is 50% higher than his target's attack. He's immune to stun and sleep, so that's at the highest level. Mana gains increased by 1, so at that point you can take the mana equipment off. Notice you only get that mana gain increased by 1 at level 9 though, so early on you're going to want that mana equipment on until you reach that stage there. So you can see this is a lot of damage being dealt between the active special and the passive special. In fact, I think there's the chance that the passive may be more important to this particular hero's ability to deal damage even than the active, because the passive is what makes the active go off more. So that's a really interesting design for this particular hero, and I think that it can be good as long as you build around this particular hero and put the right equipment on. So which equipment would I use? Well, I would definitely use mana equipment. One side of it, like I said, so 2 pieces to get the special to go off after 5. If you level up that passive special to the highest level, 9th level, then you can take that mana equipment off. I would probably try to put some equipment on that is going to just absolutely maximize the attack. I don't think you have to put the attack equipment on. I think you want to look for other equipment that is going to really align well with this hero's abilities, but has the high attack stats within the equipment itself. Usually the attack percent is what you're going to look for. You want that to be really, really high, because it not only affects the amount of damage being done on the active side of the special, but then on the passive side of the special, you want that attack to be 50% higher than the target's attack. So be prioritizing the attack percent whenever you're deciding which equipment to put on. Other than that, I think you have some choice in what equipment you want to use. I do think there's something to be said for trying to also, as a secondary focus, try to help with the survivability of this hero. I think the defense is kind of low, and so I don't know that he can take hits. So if you have choices to make, if you have some freedom with some of the equipment, you might try to make up with it by increasing the defense a bit, or if you want to, the HP. So that's something to consider with that. KATSURO is actually using the opponent's defense when dealing damage based on defense, which is, by the way, a special I really, really like whenever a hero does that. But since it's not based on your own defense, that doesn't matter so much. You're just looking at survivability for yourself. Other than that, I think KATSURO can be a really interesting hero. This is going to be one that I think gets underestimated in matches because the initial active special probably doesn't look super strong, but then whenever the passive and the active are going off back and forth like that, you're going to notice that this hero just does a lot of damage over time. And I think that that's really interesting. So let's jump into the altar. I have a few scrolls. I just want to see if I can nab him, get lucky at all. This is probably not enough to get him, but we'll see. So we got a rare hero to start. And one more. Oh, nothing, but that's okay. I didn't have a whole lot of scrolls for this particular summons, but if you do, I want to know your results. Let me know in the comments if you did get KATSURO. There is another epic hero here too, which I think is an interesting support type of hero. Of course, you can read through that yourself if you're curious about that particular hero. Ask me in the comments. If you haven't already, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification, and I will catch you in the next one.